Hey guys, you're back with Lineman Education, and we are gonna finish this paper today, which is May 2020 paper 1 for business. And we just had section C left, and today we are gonna go about and finish it, so we'll be finished with one paper. So for section C, it's very similar to section B. We have a small extract given. I will leave it up to you guys to properly read the extract and then try to answer the questions. So the extract basically is about this company whose name is Loco, and they sell SUPs, which are stand-up paddle boards. It's a niche market, and they have their USPs, and they have good staff and talented graphic designers and so on, and they're also thinking about digital marketing. So read the extract and then let's start answering the questions. For the first question, it says state one stakeholder for Loco. So stakeholder can be a lot of people. We can say one stakeholder for Loco is the owner himself or the customers who buy the SUPs. All of them are stakeholders of Loco. That gets us 1 mark. And then table 3 shows the interest rate paid on savings between 2014 and 2017. So it's interest rate on savings, not borrowing. We have to keep that in mind. Using the information in table 3, identify the best year for Loco to save any retained profit it may have. So as I've said, we have to keep in mind that we are trying to save, not borrow. So if we are trying to save, then we would want our interest rates to be as high as possible, to have our returns as high as possible. So among these 4, this seems to be the highest interest rate. So the best year for Loco to save any of its retained profits is 2014. Moving on to part C. Outline one way that a business plan could have helped Joe Thwaites when starting Loco. So he is the owner of Loco, and we have to analyze how having a business plan might have helped him while starting Loco. So we are going to first talk about what a business plan is. So a business plan is a set of aims and objectives that is written down for a business. So we are gonna define a business plan. We are gonna write that Joe could have used a business plan to set the aims and objectives for Loco. So we are gonna try to relate it to the extract. So we are gonna talk about Loco. We are gonna say Loco. We are gonna say Joe, and not the owner, not the company. So we are gonna define business plan like that. And one way that it could have helped was that Joe would have been helped through the business plan because it would have helped to create him USPs for the product, and better USP means better competition. We are being more competitive against other manufacturers, and this means we can charge premium price. All right, so we defined business plan, and then we said that through a business plan we knew how to construct our unique selling points, and this would mean that we would be more competitive against other people, and it would let us charge a premium price for our SUPs. Moving on to the next question. So it says, in order to make improvements to the business, Loco is considering 2 options. Option 1, introduce a digital payment system, example PayPal. Option 2, hold online meetings using digital communication. Justify which one of these 2 options Loco should choose. So we are basically gonna talk about the pros and cons of these options, and at the end we can just choose one. So for starters, introducing a digital payment system, let's talk about option 1. For option 1, we are firstly gonna write how a digital payment system will be more convenient for Loco. So we can say digital payment systems like PayPal can make it more convenient for customers to pay Loco in an easier way. So that should increase customer base. So easier for customers. make payments. If customers can make payments easily, that means that they would be more inclined to buy our products, so higher customer base. That is one of our points. And then we are going to further elaborate on it, saying that so it's written in the extract that Loco has its customers from all over Europe and not just the UK. So look over here, surf kiteboards throughout the UK and Europe. So we are not just selling in the UK, we are also selling all over Europe. So all over Europe, if we are selling it, so we need a sort of payment system which would be beneficial for our customers who are outside of the UK or the city that we reside in. So that is a benefit. So we're going to say that the digital payment system will allow our customers to buy the equipment 24/7, and because we have customers from all over Europe, and it will also allow our customers to make payments in different currencies, and therefore we will have lesser restrictions in terms of payments. So we're gonna write, this point is important, we have customers from all over Europe, and therefore they can buy 24/7, make payments in any currencies, and this will be more efficient, and we will again have a higher customer base, as we have mentioned before. So these are the this was basically identifying, this was analyzing, and now we have to have our however. So however, we had so after all of this, we are going to write, however, the problem with digital payment system is that they require a lot of maintenance, and they are vulnerable to fraud and hacking and all of those stuff. So the cost for installing these digital payment systems and the cost that we may incur while maintaining these digital payment systems may be very high, and the costs may outweigh our benefits or the profits. So maintenance is expensive. Maintenance is expensive, prone to fraud. Therefore, costs may be higher than profits. That's how we are going to write it. I'm just writing down the points. You're going to elaborate it. And if costs are greater than profits, that would eventually mean we might have a loss. That's how we're going to say it. So that is our bad point, and we are done with option 1. If we move on to option 2, option 2 was hold online meetings using digital communication. So basically Zoom. So what are the good points? So firstly, we're going to identify how it's going to help us. So virtual meetings will mean that it is easier for Joe to meet people from all around the world without leaving the comfort of his own home. So easier to meet more people around the world. How is that gonna benefit us? So I might have manufacturers, or I might have skilled laborers in my company who come from a variety of different types of geographical location, and if I do not have digital meeting over Zoom or whatever, I might not be able to communicate with them as much, and they might have to come all over to my workplace to communicate or put in their views. So that would be a problem. Right now it's not a problem anymore. So what we are going to say is, in order to come up with new designs of SUPs, Loco will have meetings with other skilled people over online, and the geographical barrier will be uplifted. That's how we're going to analyze it. however point. So one problem with this sort of meeting is that inspection will be harder. Quality assurance will be harder. I cannot just look at a product online and say, oh, this might be the best one, or oh, this is good enough to be sold. I have to look at in person. So that is a problem. Quality assurance. There may be issues with the product and I might not be noticing them online, so that is a problem. So if that is the problem, then brand image will go down, and digital communication will be a barrier to my quality, and I will not be able to understand fully what's going on. So inspection will be difficult. That is it. Now overall we are gonna choose one of these points. So according to me, I would choose option 1. I would just justify it saying it like, oh, I choose option 1 because, oh, it seems better to me, because it would be easier for my customers to make payments. I have customers from all over the continent, and they would be at ease making payments. I would have a higher customer base, higher sales, and therefore higher profits. Higher sales, higher profits because of more customer base. That's it. So this is how I will basically structure this answer, and now we will move on. This seems to be the last question of this paper. So evaluate the extent to which loco will be able to compete with large manufacturers of SUPs. You should use information provided as well as your own knowledge of business. So we are basically asked to talk about how much do we think loco will be able to compete with its new manufacturers, the larger manufacturers that the extract talked about, and how well do we think loco will be able to compete with them. So firstly, I feel that loco will be able to compete with them properly. So according to that view, I'm gonna write the answer. So firstly, I'm gonna talk about how loco is pretty flexible in terms of meeting customer needs, and this will be an advantage for loco compared to the other large manufacturers, because we have to understand that loco is a niche. So we are basically going to talk about a niche market. So where the first point is loco is very flexible in terms of customer needs. Next, we're gonna say how. So because they are flexible and because they are a niche market, it's not exploited by a lot of manufacturers, therefore flexibility is high, and this will allow loco to act according to customer satisfaction. Basically act according to customer preference, which will result into higher customer satisfaction. Because I am a niche again, and larger manufacturers may not be, since I do not have that many large manufacturers in the SUP business right now, and larger manufacturers are large and they might not be able to exploit customer satisfaction in a way that I might be able to according to the niche market concept. So this is what is my advantage. I will be able to build a brand name for my business, and I will be more attractive to the customers. We are going to explain this thoroughly. And then another important point is the size of the market, as we've already said, is small. So larger manufacturers will basically larger manufacturers will not try to enter the market. So that leaves the market to us. Now our however point. So sure, we are a niche, and sure we can cater to customer needs, but one of the disadvantages will be that we are small and our profits or the prices that we are charging might not be enough to overcome the costs that we are facing. So our average cost might increase, and because we are small, we will not be able to exploit economies of scale, and therefore profits might decrease. That is one of the problems. So that's how we're gonna write it, and the point is basically that, however, since we are small, that means we might not be able to exploit economies of scale. Therefore, our average costs will rise, profits will fall, and we might not be able to survive that way. That's our however point. So if this is the case, then local customers will be discouraged to buy from us, and they may in turn go to the larger manufacturers. So loss of customer base. So that is my however point. After my 3 good points, I write 1 however point, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna write a conclusion. So in conclusion remarks, I'm gonna say that I feel local will be able to compete with its large manufacturers because A, it's a niche market, B, it's doing pretty well already, it has potential to exploit customer preference and therefore keep them satisfied, and C, because it has potential to grow further and larger manufacturers are not currently in the market, so we can exploit our opportunities and grow further. Therefore, local has potential to be able to compete with larger manufacturers. That is all for this answer and for this paper, and we are done with this paper, and for next time I will pick up another interesting paper for business and we will go through that. For now, keep practicing and try to remember how the answers are being structured, because that is all that matters. And remember to always apply. Application is the biggest thing in business, and you will be good to go. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.